Here it is, the Boston Source with the great Teddy Atlas. What's going on, man?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all good, doing all good. We're here this weekend for Joshua versus Dubois. We have a big event here over, Wembley Stadium. What do you think about this event?
Now, listen, it's great. It's great for the sport. It's great for the country. Obviously, it's great for the people involved in the fight. But the best is, it's great for the fans. To have a fight, a big fight, a consequential fight, a heavyweight title fight in a historic venue, a historic stadium, and have 96,000 people join you.
Mm-hmm.
It don't get too much better than that. It's great. And the last year, we've been getting fights because of the emergence of Turkey Al-Sheikh in the sport. And quite frankly, we want it, but we won't get it. That the fans won't get, and the sport wasn't getting.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting those fights. So it's great to see, it continue. I hope it continues and it doesn't stop getting the fights that the sport needs, the fans want.
Yeah.
But it should be an intriguing fight. You got one guy, the underdog in Dubois, who, a few fights ago you never would have dreamed he'd be here.
Right.
And you know what that's called? That's called redemption. That's redemption. You got one guy fighting for legacy, more of his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
He's already got a pretty darn good legacy in Joshua, right?
Yeah.
And you got another guy, continuing to fight for redemption. I think he's redeemed himself already in his last two fights.
Yeah.
But really, those are two powerful things to bring together to any event. And that's why I use the word intriguing. That to see, can the guy that has shown a developed will over the last two fights, where he didn't show that before. He only showed skill, power, ability, but not the will. Can a guy who now has that, Dubois has that will, can that will defeat the skill? Probably the more developed skill, if we're going to be honest about it.
Right.
Of Joshua, can it do it? And can he penetrate without getting hit as many right hands as he did against Herjavec? Because that better have been a big part of his camp.
Mm-hmm.
That someone taught him how to move his head.
Yeah, move his head or at least block with the left hand.
Do something. Do something other than eat the right hands he ate against Herjavec.
Right.
Because if he hasn't changed in that area, it could be a short night. It could be a short night. But otherwise, we got a good night to look forward to because of all the components I just mentioned and because of where it's at. So it should be a great night.
Yeah, you talk about the thing there with Dubois as far as what he was able to do. He had resilience because he had those hiccups against, of course, Usyk and of course, Joe Joyce and a little bit of a hiccup with Kevin Lorena too, where he got knocked down a few times, but he was able to get back from that. And then in his past two fights.
That's why I said what I said. There were a lot more than hiccups. But he overcame them. He took something that could be a death sentence for a lot of fighters. A fighter that gets labeled a quitter. A fighter that gets labeled with no heart. And what did he do? No, he stuck with it. He searched it out. He found himself. Those two fights weren't about what this fight's about. Those two fights weren't about money. They weren't about. I don't think if they didn't pay him, I think he would have took him, and I'll tell you why. Really, they weren't about a record, adding another win on his record. They were about finding him. They were about his soul. They were about him living with himself the rest of his life, being able to look in the mirror in the morning and like what was looking back.
Right.
Being able to be comfortable with himself as a person. As I said earlier, as a man. That's what those fights were about, redemption.
Yeah.
And now that he can take that, knowing that he can depend on himself, knowing he can trust himself, knowing that he is of that cloth of man. He can take that will, which is the most important part of this business, the mental part, the belief, the will, the mental toughness. He can take that and take it into the ring tomorrow night. Again, I hope he takes with it a little head movement for his sake.
Right.
But,
yeah.
but nothing but hats off to him that he got here because of Well, because of facing what was lacking.
Yeah,
You know,
lots of adversity he went
his
through.
determination, his ability to overcome, his ability to find a way, his ability to do more than fight like a fighter, to behave like one. And he did that. I can't say enough about him for that. And his trainer and the people around him who have helped him do that. Good talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Big thanks here, Teddy Atlas, and I'll see you there at the fights.
Good seeing you.